So we are continuing with Shrimad Bhagavatam Canto 1, Chapter 9, Text 42. We are going with the prayers of Bhishma Dev, where he's leaving his body. And he says, "Now I can meditate with full concentration upon the one Lord, Sri Krishna, now present before me, because now I have transcended the misconceptions of duality in regard to his presence in everyone's heart, even in the hearts of the mental speculators. He is in everyone's heart. The sun may be perceived differently, but the sun is one." So we described this last week. We'll go to the next verse. Suta Vacha Krishna evam bhagavati manovag drishti vrittibhi atmani atmanam avishya sonta swaha uparamat. Translation. Suta Goswami said, thus Bhishma Dev merged himself in the super soul, Lord Shri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, with his mind, speech, sight, and actions. And thus he became silent and his breathing stopped. So meditating on Krishna, Bhishma Dev left his body. Bhishma Dev merged himself in the super soul, Lord Shri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, with his mind, speech, sight, and actions. So basically aligned with the Supreme Lord. And thus he became silent and his breathing stopped. Text 44. Somebody wants to read? Sampedyamanam Ajnana Bhishmam Brahmani Nishkale Sarve Babhuvus Te Tusnim Vayam Siva Dinatayai. Knowing that Bhishma Dev had merged into the ultimate eternity of the Supreme Absolute, all present there became silent like birds at the end of the day. Tatra Dundubhayo Nedur Devamanava Vaditaha Shasham Su Sadhavo Rajnam Khat Petu Pushpa Vrishtaya. Therefore, both men and demigods sounded drums in honor, and the honest royal order commenced demonstrations of honor and respect. And from the sky fell showers of flowers. That means demigods are also showering flowers on such a great personality leaving his body. Okay, next verse. Anybody wants to read?
It's difficult, Prabhuji, but I'll try.
Sure.
Tasya nirharanadini samparitasya bhargava yudhishthira karayitva muhurtam dukhito bhava. O descent of Bhrigu, after performing funeral rites of the dead body of Bhishma Dev, Maharaja Yudhishthira was momentarily overtaken with grief. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So it's important to understand that it's just being described as anybody would, missing their grandfather would be grief stricken. So that's what I'm not explaining too much here. Okay. Tushtuvar manyo Krishta Krishnam da guhya namabhi tataste Krishna hridaya swashraman prayayo punaha. All the great sages then glorified Lord Krishna, Lord Shri Krishna, who was present there by confidential Vedic hymns. Then all of them returned to their respective hermitages, hearing always Lord Krishna within their heart, bearing always Lord Krishna within their heart. So all the great sages glorified Lord Krishna, who was present there, with Vedic hymns. And then all of them returned to their respective hermitages, bearing Lord Krishna within their heart. Sorry. So often when we go to holy places or go to a kirtan or a program or something spiritual program, what happens is we feel very rejuvenated. But then we also know that when we go back to our homes, it will reduce. And that's where this verse is particularly important, where it is talking about carrying Krishna in the heart, right? When we leave Vrindavan, or we leave a temple, or we leave, a satsang or a philosophy Friday, right? It doesn't necessarily mean that just because we are not in direct association, uh, we have to kind of out of sight, out of mind. It's very possible to have a process in place where we carry Krishna in the heart. And how do we do that? By remembering Krishna. When we love someone, we carry them in our hearts. When we see their favorite flavor of ice cream, we miss them. When we hear a movie song that they like, we miss them, right? We think of them. So, same way, when we carry Krishna in the heart, we see the world as means and instruments to serve him and to remember him. Right? Uh, for example, somebody is having dinner, just the prayer, my dear Krishna, thank you very much for providing me with, you know, sumptuous vegetarian prasadam. I'm very grateful to you. When we are, going from point A to point B, thank you, Krishna, for allowing me to reach here safely without any problems. Things that might have happened but doesn't happen doesn't mean we don't recognize that, right? We don't take things for granted. So carrying Krishna in the heart means constantly being in the mood of gratitude, right? Understanding how much Krishna is protecting us and being reciprocative with Krishna in that mood that thank you, Krishna, you're always there for me. Because of you, I'm able to sustain my life. I'm able to have nice family. I'm able to, whatever I'm doing, it's by your mercy. And that is Krishna consciousness. And when we do that, so whether we're in Kolkata or Vrindavan or New York or Tanzania, it doesn't matter. We will be always in Krishna consciousness because Krishna is in the heart. And we are activated, our relationship with Paramatma, with Super Soul, with Sham Sundar within the heart. So that's a practice that we can do on a daily basis, is remembering Krishna at random occasions and just making ourselves mechanically trained to remember Krishna, so that automatically it becomes second nature, that whenever there is a little bit of downtime, it's like, have I thought of Krishna lately, right? uh, Asking ourselves that question, oh, it's been 4 hours and not once have I had a devotional thought. So whether it's humming a kirtan, whether it's thinking of a Bhagavad Gita verse, whether it's thanking Krishna, whether it's seeing a picture of Krishna that reminds us of him, somehow or other, if there is remembrance of the Supreme Lord, that is Krishna consciousness, and that is carrying Krishna in the heart. And this is what the benefit is. Not only is it for us that we are benefiting by remembering Krishna, but whoever comes in contact with us comes that much closer to Krishna as we are carrying him in the heart. As devotees of Krishna, we don't have to go on telling people, you chant, you're a sinner, you're this, you're a alcoholic, you're a diabetic, you're a whatever. We don't have to judge people. Just by being in association with people, they come in contact with Krishna in the heart. Right? Of course, they have Paramatma within, but our Paramatma is activated in a special way where we are carrying the thoughts of Krishna within our hearts. And thus, when we shake hands, or somebody opens the door for us, or somebody serves us prasadam, somebody does something for us, right? They are actually benefiting from Vaishnava Seva because we are acting like Vaishnava. So, the degree we act like a Vaishnava, that means carrying Krishna within the heart. to that degree, others are getting benefited by coming in our association, even if it is a mosquito, right? Even if it is a little boy or a beggar or somebody, as they come in association with the devotee whose thought is imbued with Krishna consciousness, wonderful things happen, right? That's their seed of Krishna bhakti that they receive by associating directly or indirectly with the devotee. So, so that means we have to be devotees in order to benefit others of Vaishnava Seva. And the way to do that is be in Krishna consciousness. Remember Krishna, carry Krishna in the heart, carry Vrindavan in the heart. Okay. So after glorifying Krishna, they went back to the hermitages, bearing Krishna within their hearts. Okay, next verse, somebody wants to read.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare
May I
Krishna,
read?
please.
ततो युधिष्ठिरो गत्वा सह कृष्णो गजायं पितरं सान्त्वयमास गान्धारी च तपस्विनीम्. Translation. Thereafter, Maharaj Yudhishthir at once went to his capital Hastinapur, accompanied by Lord Krishna, and there be consoled his uncle and aunt Gandhari, who was an ascetic. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So Gandhari and the former king, uh, the father of the Kauravas, they were now in ascetic mode because they've left the uh, you know all the royalty and everything, and they are ready to leave their body, and they're preparing for the last phase of their life. So Yudhishthir Maharaj went to Hastinapur and accompanied Lord Krishna. They went to console their uncle and aunt because they were very close to the Supreme Lord. Okay, next verse. Pitra Chanumato Raja Vasudeva Numoditaha Chakara Rajyam Dharmena Pitra Paitamaha Vibhu. After this, the great religious king Maharaj Yudhishthir executed the royal power in the kingdom strictly according to the codes of royal principles approved by his uncle and confirmed by Lord Shri Krishna. So Maharaj Yudhishthir executed the royal power and kingdom strictly according to the codes of royal principles. Just like we follow the constitution, so same way, the royal codes. And of course, Dharmang Sakshat Bhagavat Pranita. That which is given by God is Dharma. So confirmed by Lord Krishna. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport of the 5th canto, 9th chapter of Shrimad Bhagavatam, entitled The Passing Away of Bhishma Dev in the Presence of Lord Krishna. Now, we are getting into chapter 10, which is Departure of Lord Krishna from Dwarka. Shaunaka Vacha Hatva Swarika Spridha Atataino Yudhishthiro Dharmabhritam Varishtaha Sahanujay Pratiyavaruddha Bhojana Katham Pravrittam Kim Akarshiti Tataha. Translation. Shaunaka Muni asked, after killing his enemies who desired to usurp his rightful inheritance, how did the greatest of all religious men, Maharaj Yudhishthir, assisted by his brothers, rule his subjects? Surely he could not freely enjoy his kingdom with unrestricted consciousness. Okay. Sutta Vacha Vamsam Kurur Vamsa Davagne Nirritam samrohayitva bhavano hari niveshayitva nija rajeshwaro yudhishtiram prita mana bhavubhaha. Sutta Goswami said, Lord Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is a maintainer of the world, became pleased with re-establishing Maharaj Yudhishthir in his own kingdom. And after restoring the Kuru dynasty, which had been exhausted by the bamboo fire of anger. Sutta Goswami said, Lord Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is a maintainer of the world, became pleased after re-establishing Maharaj Yudhishthir in his own kingdom. So, as Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya duskritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. So, he is coming yuge yuge as avatar is to establish dharma samsthapanarthaya. So, Krishna was very happy that finally a dharmic king was re-established on the throne, right? After restoring the Kuru dynasty, which had been exhausted by the bamboo fire of anger. I don't know what bamboo fire is, but I'm guessing it's a very vicious fire. I'm guessing I've heard about it that bamboos, when there is wind, they tap against each other and cause fire, and that spreads, and that's called bamboo fire. So Yudhishthir Maharaj is now the Dharmic king, replacing Duryodhana, who had the bamboo fire kind of mentality, destroying everything with their greed and envy and pride and everything. Okay, someone else to read?
I'll read, Proji.
Go ahead.
निशम्य भीष्मोक्तम् अथाच्युतक्तम् प्रवृत्तविज्ञानविधुत विभ्रमः साससाद्गम् इन्द्र इव जतिश्रया परिध्युक्तपन्तम् अनुज अनुवर्तित. Maharaj Yudhishthir, after being enlightened by what was spoken by Bhishma Dev and Lord Shri Krishna, the infallible, engaged himself in matters of perfect knowledge because all his misgivings were eradicated. Thus he ruled over the earth and seas and was followed by his younger brothers.
Thank you so much. Maharaj
Thank
Yudhishthir,
you.
after being enlightened by what was spoken by Bhishma Deva and Lord Shri Krishna, the infallible, engaged himself in matters of perfect knowledge, because all his misgivings were eradicated. So that's a natural outcome of true knowledge, that when we receive true knowledge, misgivings are eradicated, doubts disappear. Growing up, I used to go to many spiritual organizations where I could never understand what the hell they're talking about. And if asked, I would always be told, grow up, you will understand. But I could clearly see the grown ups also could not understand, because things were purposely convoluted in such a way just to make sure, it stays beyond the reach. But then the speaker gets the appreciation that, oh, something so deep that no one can understand. Even most intelligent people in the room can't understand. But the beauty of true knowledge, spiritual knowledge, is such that it is so simple and it is so relatable to our heart. It's so natural to us that even a child can understand. And the scriptures say that one should start at the age of 5. Like Prahlad Maharaj started at a very, very early age. He became a pure devotee. So it's not for when you become an adult, when you have, some old age and whatnot. No, Krishna consciousness, spiritual education starts at a very early age and must be, made sure that the environment is provided for the child so that the child can move in Krishna consciousness. So over here, we are seeing that Yudhishthira Maharaj benefited from the conversation with Bhishma Dev, which was Bhishma Dev's purpose. And with steadfastness, he is able to move forward in ruling planet Earth. Now, here is another point I want to make, that doing any activity, whether it's an act of leadership or project management or whatever it is, sustaining our family, without clarity, one can't act in the most productive way. Clarity comes from knowledge. Clarity comes when doubts are dispelled. So it is not just Bhagavad Gita, but in our lives also. Of course, Bhagavad Gita is a part of our life. But whatever we do, if we don't have clear knowledge, like Kumbh Mela, right? Right now, a lot of people who bought their tickets are canceling it after hearing the stampede and all the things that's coming out in the news, because there is a question mark, there's a doubt. Will I be able to safely go take a dip in the holy river, or will I have to walk 20 kilometers, and then who knows what will happen, who will push, who will stampede and all that. So any activity that we do, we want to have knowledge. And when we are knowledgeable and we are confident, like when I did the yatra for Vrindavan, when we did it in December of 2023, we were all very nervous of what's going to happen. Will it work out? Will the food be okay? Will all the devotees be able to do the parikrama? How comfortable would it be, etc., etc. When we did it last December, it was a little more confident because we had done it once and we kind of had the knowledge of what was where. But we did some new locations, Nandgaon, Varsada, and other places. And so for those also we had. So it's like any activity, when we have knowledge, we have clarity, we can do it with full volition. When we don't have knowledge, when we don't have clarity, we are scared. Now, in life, there is often times, especially as many of us are entrepreneurs, we do delve into businesses where we don't have full knowledge, but we start the journey and we learn knowledge as we go along. And that's where uh, the Bhagavad Gita comes in handy, because life does not always give answers, but Bhagavad Gita gives principles. And if you follow the principles, we at least know we are on the right track to get the right answer, to reach the right destination, right? So not always will we have answers to things, but if we follow the principles of Gita and the Krishna conscious lifestyle, we will eventually reach our ultimate destination. This way, that way, a little convoluted, a little straight, a little shortcut, but we will get there. Okay, that's important to kind of meditate upon. That not always do we have everything figured out, but uh, the scriptural knowledge is very important. Okay, next verse. Somebody wants to read?
Hare Krishna, I will read. कामं भावर्ष पर्जन्य सर्वकामदुग्धमाहि सिसिचुस्मव्रजन् गावः प्रयासोऽधसवतिर्मूढा. Translation: During the reign of Maharaj Yudhishthir, the clouds showered all the water that people needed, and the earth produced all the necessities of men in profusion. Due to its fatty milk bag and cheerful attitude, the cow used to moisten the grazing ground the milk. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So that's a sign of a great leader, great ruler, that when during the reign of Maharaj Yudhishthir, the clouds showered all the water that people needed, and the earth produced all the necessities of man in profusion. Due to its fatty milk bags that with others, and cheerful attitude, the cows used to moisten the grazing ground with milk, right? Excess milk that would moisten the grounds. That much cows were producing. When cows are happy, it's actually a phenomenon, right? They produce milk. A lot of times in goshalas, they have musical systems in place. So bhajans and kirtans play, and the cow's productivity is more actually when that happens, when they're in a cheerful mood. So when the king is great, then everybody is doing well, right? Lord Ramachandra, that's why they say Ram Rajya, right? Ram Rajatya. Lord Ramachandra, when he was, leading for 11,000 years, Lord Ramachandra was king. We only know the few, couple of decades worth of history about Lord Ram, but he ruled for 11,000 years, and he ruled beautifully. So much so that from Greece to Indonesia, people still remember Lord Ram and his, his legacy. So, same way, Yudhishthir Maharaj, although not God, but a very, very dharmic person, Dharmaputra Yudhishthir. So he also ruled so nicely, and he was empowered by the knowledge from Bhishma Dev and Lord Krishna that citizens were happy, animals were happy, right? Nature was happy, no global warming, no earthquake, Mother Earth, nature, everything was in unison. So that's a sign of a good leader. Okay. Should we read another verse?
Hare
I'll read
Krishna.
yes.
Nadya Samudra Giraya Savanaspati Viruddha Falanati Oshadheya Sarva Kamam Anuvrutu Tasya Ve. Translation: the rivers, oceans, hills, mountains, forests, creepers, and active drugs in every season paid their tax quota to the king in profusion.
Thank you so much, Mataji. I did not get the active drugs part. That threw me off. Okay. Oshadhya. Okay. Medicine. Okay. Uh, the rivers, oceans, hills, mountains, forests, creepers, and active drugs in every season paid their tax quota to the king in profusion. So it's like saying that when you are the king, you're not just king for the humans, you're king for Mother Nature, Mother Earth, king for the all living entities. So uh, they happily pay their taxes in reciprocation of good governance. Nadhayo Vaidheya Klesha Daiva Bhutatma Hetavaha Ajat Sat Satrav Abhavan Jantunam Rajni Karhichit. Because of the kings having no enemy, the living beings were not at any time disturbed by mental agonies, diseases, or excessive heat or cold. So Yudhishthira Maharaj, being dharmic, being fair, being the righteous king, he had no enemies. Right? That's interesting because if we see modern leaders, they have the Z plus security, this, that, huge amounts of security. Why? Because they create a lot of enemies. Now, not that it's their fault purely, but it's just Kali Yuga. But imagine a king who has no enemies, right? Who is a leader without any bodyguards, who can, who has satisfied everyone. That's very, very high level of governance. I don't think that's very easy to achieve. So Yudhishthira Maharaj had achieved that. This is glorification. Yes, Chandrima Mataji.
Prabhuji, when we read that Yudhishthira Maharaj was ruling the entire earth, does it also include Dwarka as part of it? Because
Mhm.
Bal- Balram was there in
Yeah.
Dwarka, so
Yes.
was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dwarka was under the reign of Yudhishthira Maharaj.
Okay, got it.
Okay. Would you like to read? the next verse, text 7.
Yes. उषित्वा हस्तिनापुरे मासान् कतिप्यान् हरि शुद्धिदं च विशोकया स्वसुश्च प्रिय काम्याये. Translation: Sri Hari, Lord Sri Krishna, resided at Hastinapura for few months to pacify his relatives and please his own sister Subhadra.
Sri Hari, Lord Sri Krishna, resided at Hastinapur for a few months to pacify his relatives. Okay, that's straightforward. Next. Amantriya chabhya nu gyata parishvajya abhivadyatam aruroha ratham kaschit parishvakto bhivaditaha. Afterwards, when the Lord asked permission to depart and the king gave it, the Lord offered his respects to Maharaj Yudhishthir by bowing down at his feet. And the king embraced him. After this, the Lord, being embraced by others and received their obeisances, got into his chariot. So, by age, material age, and position, this was Krishna's way of showing respect to the Chakravarti Samrat. He's the leader of the entire planet, although gifted by Krishna only, but still Krishna is giving his respects to him. I imagine Krishna offering, oh my God, bowing down at his feet. That's unthinkable. But that's Krishna. That's our God. See, in chapter 10 Bhagavad Gita, we see how Krishna is talking about himself as I am this, I am that, I'm the best. And here Krishna is bowing down at the feet of Yudhishthir. He's washing the feet of Sudama. He's massaging the feet of Balaram. So simultaneously, he's extremely humble and he's extremely aware of his prowess as a supreme personality of Godhead. It's not like when he's a baby, he forgets he's God. He always knows he's God. And he's always aware of his personality. He's always powerful, although scared of Mother Yashoda. But that doesn't change the fact that Krishna is not like in forgetfulness. Oh, I don't know I'm God. That's why he's scared of Mother Yashoda's stick. Krishna genuinely is a baby to Mother Yashoda. And at the same time, he is the same Krishna who's also killing the demons. He is very much aware that he's God. He's very much aware that he's a son who's helpless in front of the stick of Mother Yashoda. And he's, ultra powerful with his chakra in his hand in front of the demons. So simultaneous oneness and difference. So apparent contradictions exist simultaneously within God, and that's why he's God. With this, I'll end a little early today since I have an invitation I have to go to. But I will see you next Friday and we'll continue from here. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Shrimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare
Hare Krishna, sir.